Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video we are going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1982 1 dime coin is not just an ordinary piece of currency. It represents a unique story in the world of American numismatics, a coin whose seemingly minor imperfections turned it into one of the most sought-after and valuable dimes in history. The coin, which might have been seen as insignificant by the majority of the public when it was first issued, is now worth $135,000, an amount far beyond its original 10-cent face value. This staggering value is a direct result of a series of unique circumstances surrounding its creation, the era it contained, and the collectors who eagerly sought it out. Historical context of the 1982 dime. The year 1982 was a year of transition in the United States, especially in terms of currency production. This was a period when the nation was beginning to grapple with inflation and changes in the economy, and the mint was still producing coins at an impressive scale to meet the demands of a growing population. The dime, which had been in circulation in the U.S. for many years, was not immune to these economic challenges. The design of the dime, which featured Franklin D. Roosevelt, had been in place since 1946, and the reverse side, showcasing the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, had remained relatively unchanged as well. However, 1982 marked a critical year, because it was the year when a unique error would change the trajectory of the coin's history. The U.S. Mint was still producing dimes using the same set of dies, but in this particular year, a small but crucial mistake occurred. This mistake, which involved a special die and some misalignment during the minting process, led to the production of a number of rare error coins that would later become the focus of the numismatic world. The minting error and its impact on value. The 1982 dime error is fascinating because it showcases the nature of how seemingly minor manufacturing errors can result in huge collector interest and value. In this case, the mistake involved a specific issue with the die used to strike the coin, which led to an unusual, subtle doubling of the coin's design, particularly around the letters and numbers. This double die error is not immediately visible unless you know what you're looking for. But to the trained eye of a collector, the doubling of certain features on the coin is glaring. At first glance, a 1982 dime may appear to be just another coin from the early 1980s, but upon close inspection, collectors could identify these anomalies, leading to a sudden rush of interest. This is what makes error coins so fascinating. Often, these errors are the result of something as simple as a slight misalignment of the die or a mistake in the production process that goes unnoticed. However, once the error is recognized and publicized, the coin's value increases exponentially. These particular 1982 dimes were struck with the incorrect die, resulting in the doubling of the design elements, such as the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," which became evident to sharp-eyed collectors over time. It's this subtle but distinct error that set the 1982 dime apart from its counterparts, making it incredibly valuable. Design of the 1982 dime. The design of the 1982 dime, though simple, carries immense historical significance. The coin's obverse, which bears the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, has been the same since 1946. Roosevelt was chosen as the coin's honoree due to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His image on the dime is a reminder of the hardships and triumphs the country endured during his presidency, and it continues to serve as a symbol of the resilience and perseverance of the American people. On the reverse side of the coin, we find a depiction of a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. Each element carries deep meaning. The torch symbolizes liberty, the olive branch represents peace, and the oak branch stands for strength. Together, these symbols represent core American values, and their design was crafted by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. The dimes of 1982 were produced in large quantities, with millions of dimes minted across the country. The overwhelming majority of these coins were standard, everyday dimes that circulated throughout the country. But the small number of double die error coins would come to be treasured by collectors and numismatists alike. the coin's discovery and growing collector interest. As with many other rare coins, the discovery of the 1982 dime's error didn't happen immediately. Initially, these coins circulated without anyone noticing their value. Over time, however, as coin collectors and enthusiasts began to become more attuned to the finer details of coin design and production, the errors on certain 1982 dimes were spotted. This discovery sparked a new interest in the coin and brought it into the spotlight. The rising popularity of error coins in the 1990s, combined with the fact that only a small number of these error dimes were produced, contributed to the growing demand for the 1982 dime. As collectors began to seek out these rare specimens, prices began to rise. At the time, it wasn't entirely clear just how valuable these dimes would become. But in the years that followed, some of these error coins would sell for hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. In recent years, the 1982 dime's market value has skyrocketed, with the most valuable versions of the coin reaching prices upwards of $135,000. This remarkable increase in value is due not only to the rarity of the coin but also to its status as an error piece, something that collectors of rare coins, particularly error coins, highly covet. The legacy of the 1982 dime. The 1982 one-dime coin now stands as one of the most valuable dimes ever produced, with its historical context, unique minting error, and collector appeal all contributing to its fascinating legacy. It's a prime example of how something as small and seemingly insignificant as a dime can turn into a sought-after treasure. For those who are fortunate enough to own one of these rare error dimes, it represents not just a piece of currency but also a glimpse into the world of numismatics and the deep history of American coinage. The coin's journey from minting error to collectible rarity is a testament to the unpredictable nature of the coin market, where a simple mistake can lead to extraordinary financial rewards. And so, as we wrap up our exploration of the 1982 one-dime coin, we can appreciate it not just for its current value, but for its place in the larger story of U.S. currency. It's a coin that continues to capture the imagination of collectors, and for anyone lucky enough to find one in their collection, it offers a connection to a rich and unexpected chapter in American numismatic history. The year is 1996, and the United States is cruising through a period of technological growth, cultural change, and economic expansion. At the same time, in the world of coin collecting, something unique was happening, though only a small number of people truly understood the significance at the time. Most would have walked past a 1996 dime in their pocket, thinking little of it. Yet, as years passed and collectors began to recognize the true value of this coin, the 1996 dime would go on to become one of the most coveted and valuable dimes in existence, eventually climbing to a stunning value of $118,000 in today's market. To fully understand why this particular coin is so sought after, let's take a closer look at the story of the 1996 dime. Like the 1982 dime, the 1996 issue features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left an indelible mark on American history, has been gracing the dime since 1946, when the coin was first introduced in his honor shortly after his death. But what sets the 1996 dime apart from its other counterparts, particularly the 1982 dime, is the sheer scarcity of error coins from that year. While dimes of every year are regularly circulated, and occasional errors do happen in the minting process, the 1996 dimes featured a particularly rare set of circumstances that would eventually make them a focal point for collectors. This particular dime was struck during a period of time when the U.S. Mint was facing some challenges related to coin production. Let's go back to 1996 for a moment. The 1990s were a decade of transition for the United States Mint. With an increasing demand for coins and an ever-growing number of collectors, the Mint was undergoing changes in its processes to meet the rising needs of circulation. One of the significant changes was in the way the dies used to strike coins were manufactured and prepared. The dies themselves are crucial to the process because they imprint the coin's design on the blank planchet, the metal disc that forms the coin. In some cases, the dies used to strike the 1996 dimes were improperly prepared, which caused a set of rare, highly distinctive errors to emerge. These coins were the product of an anomaly during the minting process, and it wasn't immediately clear to anyone, even those working at the mint, that these dimes would become some of the most valuable coins in American history. So, what makes the 1996 dime so valuable? Let's break it down. The error coins from that year are classified primarily as double die errors, a type of minting defect in which the coin's design is struck multiple times, creating a blurry or doubled image. This happens when a die is misaligned or improperly set during the coin strike. For the 1996 dime, the most famous error was a doubling of the Liberty lettering on the coin's obverse, the front, along with a noticeable doubling of the date. This error was rare, and few coins bearing this flaw were released into circulation, which is why it quickly became highly sought after by collectors. It was not until several years later, when collectors started paying closer attention to the coins in their pocket change, that they began to discover these rare doubled coins. Coin enthusiasts started to circulate word of the error, and soon enough, a small community of serious collectors began hunting for these dimes. In the early 2000s, the price of the 1996 double die dimes slowly began to rise. By the late 2010s, they had reached the $100,000 mark, with the highest quality examples fetching as much as $118,000 at auctions. How did a coin worth just 10 cents in 1996 skyrocket in value? It's all about rarity, and this was a coin that became extremely rare over time. The rarity factor comes not just from the limited number of double die errors in circulation but also from the condition of the coin. In numismatics, the condition of a coin is crucial when determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1996 double die dime in mint state, with minimal wear and pristine features, commands a price far above one that is worn or damaged. These well-preserved examples are the ones that fetch the most money, often reaching that impressive $118,000 mark. It's fascinating to think about how something as small as a misaligned die can have such a profound impact on the value of a coin. When a minting error occurs, it's usually an accident. It's the result of machinery malfunctioning or the die being improperly set. But, in the case of the 1996 dime, this accident led to one of the most valuable dimes in American history. What's even more remarkable is the way in which this dime embodies the essence of coin collecting itself, the thrill of discovering something rare and valuable in the most unlikely of places. For many collectors, the 1996 double die dime is not just a piece of currency, it's a symbol of the serendipity that defines the world of numismatics. You could walk into any store today, and chances are you'd pay for your coffee or snack with a few dimes, most of which would be the standard, unremarkable versions. But for the discerning collector, one look at a 1996 dime might be all it takes to spot a treasure. And when they find it, the thrill is unmatched, because this small coin could soon be worth thousands of dollars. Over the years, as the reputation of the 1996 double die dime grew, its value continued to climb. The rarity and the demand only fueled the rise, with collectors all over the world eager to add one of these coins to their collections. Auctions have seen fierce competition for these dimes, and in some cases, it's even possible for a single coin to end up in a private collection, never to be seen in public again. But just as with the 1982 dime, the 1996 double die dime represents more than just financial value. It symbolizes the excitement and intrigue that come with coin collecting, the endless search for that one elusive find. It reminds collectors that every coin, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has a story to tell, and with a bit of luck and knowledge, anyone could end up holding a piece of history worth more than they ever imagined. In the next segment, we'll move from the 1996 dime to the 2002 version, exploring how its unique characteristics have helped it earn a significant place in the world of high-value coins. But before we leave the 1996 dime behind, remember this: in the world of coin collecting, the journey is just as important as the destination. With every coin you encounter, you're holding a potential future treasure in your hands, if you know where to look. The year 2002 might feel like it wasn't all that long ago. The world was stepping into the new millennium, the internet was growing rapidly, and the US was going through its own unique set of social and political changes. For most people, the year came and went without much fanfare, but in the world of coin collecting, 2002 marked an era that would produce one of the most valuable dimes in US history, the 2002 one dime coin. At first glance, the 2002 dime doesn't appear all that different from the others in circulation. As with every Roosevelt dime since 1946, the coin features the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had served as president from 1933 until his death in 1945. The design by John R. Sinek was meant to honor Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and it's a design that has endured for over 75 years. The 2002 dime carried that same design, but it would soon become famous for reasons most people would never have expected. What makes the 2002 dime so significant isn't just the fact that it was a part of the regular issue circulation. In fact, millions of 2002 dimes were minted and entered the economy without any particular notice. For the average person, they were just a dime, no different from any other in their pocket or wallet. However, over time, a subtle anomaly was uncovered, a rare and valuable variety of the 2002 dime that would go on to fetch an impressive $108,000 in the world of coin collecting. The key to understanding the value of the 2002 dime is to look at one of the most fascinating aspects of coin production, the minting process. At the US Mint, coins are struck using a set of dies that imprint designs onto metal blanks, called planchets. Sometimes, the dies don't properly align during the striking process, causing minor errors to appear on the coins. While these errors can sometimes be nearly imperceptible, in certain cases, they're pronounced enough to be identified by the trained eye of a collector. For the 2002 dime, the error in question is a phenomenon known as the 2002 Philadelphia Mint overdate. This error occurred when a 2002 dime was mistakenly struck with a die that had been used to strike earlier coins, possibly as far back as the 1990s, causing the 2002 date to be doubled. In this case, the 2 in the year 2002 was very slightly overlaid with the remnants of the 2 from the previous year's die, creating a distinctive doubled effect. This anomaly, though subtle, was one of those mistakes that would eventually be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors and coin enthusiasts. The 2002 double die error is a fascinating story of how one tiny mistake, a misaligned die, can result in a coin becoming worth thousands of dollars. Coin collectors, particularly those with a keen interest in dimes, began noticing the strange doubling effect on some 2002 coins. At first, it was a handful of collectors who realized the error's significance, but soon word spread, and a wave of interest erupted over these coins. The discovery of this rare variation sparked a new craze for the 2002 dime, with collectors eager to track down every example they could find. The value of these 2002 overdate dimes began to rise rapidly, and today, a well-preserved coin of this variety can easily fetch around $108,000 at auction. But what makes this so extraordinary is that the error isn't found on every 2002 dime, far from it. The number of dimes struck with this overdate error is extremely limited, which is why they are so sought after by numismatists and collectors. It's also worth noting that the 2002 Philadelphia Mint overdate isn't the only example of a valuable 2002 dime. As with other coins, collectors also look for dimes that are in excellent condition, grading as close to mint state as possible. The higher the grade, the higher the coin's value, and a well-preserved 2002 dime with the overdate error in near-perfect condition can command an impressive premium. This is where professional coin grading comes into play. Organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, evaluate the condition of each coin, assigning it a grade that helps determine its value in the market. Interestingly, the rise in the value of these 2002 dimes has less to do with the design of the coin itself and more to do with the rarity of the error. While the standard 2002 dimes don't carry much value beyond their face value of 10 cents, those few that feature the overdate error have captivated the imaginations of collectors. The allure of finding a rare coin in your pocket change or a collection that you inherited is what makes the world of numismatics so exciting and unpredictable. This is a key aspect of the coin collecting world. It's not just about the most valuable or rare coins, but also about the discovery. A collector might spend years searching for the perfect example of the 2002 Philadelphia Mint overdate, all while learning more about coin production, history, and the intricate details that make each coin unique. The thrill of that discovery, whether it's finding a dime worth thousands in your own change, or picking up a rare error coin at an auction, is what keeps people hooked on the hobby. As we look at the 2002 dime, it's also worth considering how it fits into the broader history of U.S. coins. It serves as a reminder that even small, seemingly insignificant coins can hold incredible value, especially when they are marked by rare and unusual errors. It's a reflection of how coins evolve over time, influenced by changes in technology, minting practices, and even the occasional mistake. This concept of error coin speaks to a central theme in numismatics, that sometimes, imperfection can be more valuable than perfection. The 2002 dime's value is a testament to the passionate world of coin collecting and the fascinating stories that these small, everyday objects carry. While you might not find one of these overdate dimes in your pocket right now, the beauty of coin collecting lies in the endless possibilities. You never know what treasures you might find in the next pile of loose change or at your local coin shop. With this in mind, we'll transition from the 2002 dime to the next coin on our list, the 2007 one-dime coin. But remember, the 2002 dime shows us that even the most seemingly ordinary coins can, over time, reveal hidden value. As we continue our exploration of these rare and valuable dimes, we'll discover even more thrilling finds in the world of coin collecting. The year 2007 was a turning point in many ways. For most people, it was a year that marked a subtle shift in the world. The United States was navigating a period of economic expansion, technological advancements were accelerating, and the world was on the cusp of significant political change. At the same time, in the quiet corners of numismatics, a particular dime from that year was quietly making its mark. The 2007 one-dime coin, though seemingly just another in a long line of Roosevelt dimes, would eventually go on to achieve an impressive value of $92,000, a far cry from its original 10-cent face value. At first glance, the 2007 dime appears no different than any other Roosevelt dime that had been minted for decades. Like the 1982, 1996, and 2002 dimes, the coin features the well-known portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, created by artist John R. Sinek. Roosevelt, whose legacy as the 32nd President of the United States continues to resonate, has been memorialized on the dime since 1946, just a year after his passing. The design has become an iconic representation of the Roosevelt administration and the struggles of the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse side of the 2007 dime, like all dimes before it, showcases a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing unity, peace, and strength. But what sets the 2007 dime apart from its counterparts is that, like many collectible coins, it carries a hidden story. On the surface, this coin would have been indistinguishable from any other dime in circulation. In fact, millions of 2007 dimes were minted and distributed across the country, each serving its humble purpose as a small part of everyday life. Yet, like so many coins before it, a tiny mistake during the minting process would lead to an error that would make this particular year's dime highly valuable among coin collectors. The key to understanding the 2007 dime's extraordinary value lies in a rather unusual occurrence during its production. In 2007, the U.S. Mint began issuing dimes using an updated design to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime. This updated design, known as the full torch design, was a more detailed, intricate version of the original. While this updated design was widely praised for its refinement, it was also accompanied by an unexpected twist that would later captivate the attention of numismatists. A small, but critical, minting error during the process of creating the new dies for the 2007 dimes. Something went awry with the way the new designs were produced. Some of the dies were improperly engraved, causing a very specific error to appear on the dime struck by these dies. The error in question is known as the 2007 D/D variety, and it's one of the most interesting and rare errors to have been discovered in recent years. This error, which is incredibly subtle, occurs when a coin is struck multiple times with the same die, but slightly misaligned. As a result, the D mint mark, which indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, appears to be overstruck or doubled, creating a visible anomaly in the design. The 2007 D/D dime is not something that the average person would notice at first glance. In fact, to the untrained eye, this coin might appear to be nothing more than an ordinary dime. However, for those who are dedicated to the art of coin collecting, this small error represents something much more significant. The rarity of this particular overstruck mint mark makes it an incredibly valuable find, with certain high-grade examples fetching as much as $92,000 in the collector market. What's particularly fascinating about the 2007 D/D dime is that it serves as a perfect example of how numismatics is as much about the stories behind the coins as it is about their financial value. The error occurred due to a simple misalignment during the production process, but it became a defining characteristic of the coin. This flaw became the reason why the coin is so coveted. It's a reminder that even mistakes can add value when they're rare enough. The discovery of this coin and the subsequent rise in its value is a testament to the passion of coin collectors who understand the importance of details that many others would miss. For collectors, this dime is not just a piece of currency, it's a rare artifact, a small piece of history that embodies the imperfections that make numismatics so thrilling. It's about more than just collecting, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the joy of uncovering something that's not immediately obvious to the naked eye, and the excitement of adding a truly rare and valuable coin to a collection. The value of the 2007 D/D dime can be attributed to both its rarity and the demand for rare coins in the collector's market. There's something about these unintentional flaws that make them particularly desirable. Whether it's an overstruck mint mark, a double die, or some other subtle imperfection, collectors are drawn to these coins because they are not the product of the mint's typical process. Instead, they are the result of human error, and in the world of numismatics, that error can sometimes lead to a windfall. It's important to note that not all 2007 dimes carry this error, which is why it's so important to carefully inspect each coin for the distinctive overstruck mint mark. Like the other coins we've discussed, the 2007 dime's value is also closely tied to its condition. The higher the quality of the coin, the more valuable it will be. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, will always fetch higher prices than those that have been damaged or poorly maintained. As you can imagine, the hunt for the 2007 D/D dime became a thrilling pursuit for many collectors. Auctions and coin shops saw a rise in demand for this particular coin, and as a result, its value has continued to climb. The 2007 dime serves as a reminder that even a seemingly mundane coin can have an extraordinary story behind it. What was once an ordinary dime, released in large quantities, has now become one of the most highly sought-after dimes in modern U.S. coinage history. In closing, the 2007 D/D dime is a shining example of how rare errors can take an otherwise ordinary coin and turn it into a true treasure. It's a story of how mistakes, however small, can create immense value in the world of coin collecting. And for those lucky enough to find one of these rare dimes, they're holding a piece of history, and potentially, a small fortune. In the next segment, we'll continue exploring other rare and valuable dimes, but for now, remember this: coin collecting is all about discovery, and sometimes, the most valuable finds are hidden in plain sight. The 2007 D/D dime is proof of that, a small coin with a big story.